Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm here to deck profile my Gravekeeper Royal Tribute Dragoon Turbo deck that I played. I managed to get top 4 of my locals. I would have made it to the finals if I just wasn't a dum-dum and misplayed very hard. But otherwise, I'm just going to jump straight into the deck profile. We're playing 3 Commandant, your Necro Valley Searcher, 2100 beat stick under Necro Valley, standard card, and then the Gravekeeper's Headband as the one-of, searchable, and you use it to help make Dragoons if you discard the Commandant and special this out of your grave, make the Anaconda, and just get to Dragoons. Then we have the one Red Eyes Wyvern for our Red Eyes Insight, and then the Red Eyes Dark Magician to round off our monsters. Moving on to our spells, we have triple Necro Valley. Very good card, stops a lot of meta decks running around because they use their graveyard. If they can't banish cards out of the grave, they lose a lot of their resources, and cards can't be moved, so that is also very helpful. And then, of course, the Royal Tributes that need Necro Valley on the field to activate, you can hit their hands. I have unfortunately lost the game because I happened to open the vanilla monster, not seeing a way to get access to the Red Eyes Fusion, and needed to Royal Tribute because I didn't happen to draw any back or anything to keep me in the game either. And then I played 3 of the Necro Valley Thrones, the Searcher for your Gravekeeper monster. The second effect never comes up to get another one normal summon, but being able to add the Commandant or the Headman is very good. Then we have 3 Red Eyes Fusions and 2 Red Eyes Insights to go with it. I would probably play 3 Insights, but I only own 2, and it's been working pretty good so far, but I have missed the 3rd one because the one slot I play that would be the Insight, I see good often enough. And then 1 Terraforming and 1 Mine. Mine there just in case you can't get the right cards to go off and you need to stall. You just kind of sit on Mine, and then you can do it on your opponent's turn if you have to, with like Metaverse and stuff. It's just degenerate enough to let you play the game, despite Royal Tribute being pretty degenerate itself. Then I'm playing 3 Pot of Prosperities. This card is amazing in the deck. You don't need your extra deck, so you can just kind of banish whatever. And then being able to dig 6 cards deep to find either like your Royal Tribute, your Necro Valley, or a way to get Necro Valley, and like the back row or the Royal Tribute, just anything, Red Eyes Fusion, whatever you need in the situation. It does help being able to look that far into your deck. And then triple Dark Ruler no more. I don't own droplets, but this card is quite good. In case I go second, it's there. If not, you discard it off Dragoons, it's fine. And it's just a solid card. And then 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. The Feather Duster just there to clear back row in case you go second, or if you play a back row heavy deck and you just need to clear it. It would potentially be the Insight slot I mentioned earlier, but otherwise, yeah, it's just kind of there because it's a pretty good card to have. And then the 1 Metaverse to set Mystic Mine or Necro Valley on your opponent's turn. If you didn't open the Necro Valley and you know they lose to Necro Valley, or if they happen to out one Necro Valley, you can get another one on your board, stuff like that. Very good card. And then triple Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike just to stop monster effects through trap means, so you don't get Gambit immediately. And it just, you know, stops like Link summons, Exceed summons, important cards that come out. So then I'm playing 2 Crackdowns. I never got to use this card, so I don't have much to say about it. I never drew it. And it gets sided out pretty often unless the matchup allowed me to use this card effectively. So I don't have much to say other than, yeah, I would have liked to see what it could have done. 2 Solemn Judgments. Solemn Judgments are great because it just tells people no if they happen to have the back row removal for something important, or like droplets for your Dragoons. It basically protects you. And then 2 Waking the Dragons. Also never got to use this card, but I'm pretty sure it's deterred people from putting in Feather Dusters because I reveal it off the Pot of Prosperity, and I've never seen the Duster come in games 2 and 3 because of them potentially being afraid of Waking the Dragon. I can't confirm for sure, but the theory is there, and that's partially why my extra deck looks the way it does. Moving on to the side deck, I figured I'd show this first because it would make more sense when you see my extra deck afterward. I'm playing the third copy of Judgment to side in, usually when I go first, because people would be siding in more cards to potentially hit my important stuff. The triple torrentials for matchups where it actually does stuff against. Double summon limit for the same reason. It does torrential. Some matchups it kind of just helps you win the game or prevent them from playing the game long enough for you to just shut them out of the game with like Dragoons. And then 3 super polys. This is because you have so much flex spot, you can play a lot of targets, and it helps break boards going second. Triple Lancia as a hand trap to shut down the decks that really die to Lancia. And plus, you can always just set it off of its own effect in case you have to Royal Tribute and draw it and stuff. It's like, it's got other uses kind of. If you happen to pop it, then you get a free monster on the board. And then lastly, 3 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, because again, our extra deck is so flexible, we can afford to play cards like this. The only downside is I don't have the best targets at the moment, so I kind of just threw in what I had, and you'll see that in a second when I get into my extra deck. Alright, so here's my extra deck, the staple being 2 Dragoons. It actually came up where I needed a third one because 2 of them were banished. My friend was playing Phantom Knight, Link Dragons, and yeah, he managed to banish both of my Dragoons when I could make Dragoons going second, and he didn't have the Ash. I was like, oh, well, if only I had one more Dragoons, I could have actually played the game and broke his board. And then 1 Zeus, Cherry's target, Mud Dragon, Dragostaplia, and Macabre, Starving Venom. Those, along with Construct, were potential super poly targets that never really came up, and or Cherry's targets, because some of them also can work in that sense, shutting some decks out of plays. And then I have the Ultimate Falcon and the Last Warrior for the Waking the Dragon, and then some more Cherries targets were like Halki Fibrax. This would probably get switched out because not a lot of decks rely on that, but I just needed something to fill space. Bardiche, I do have consistent PKs at my locals, so that's kind of why it's there, but also again, it was another filler. The Nightmare Phoenix I do actually use sometimes, and it's actually a real card in this to pop back in case you need to. The 1 Anaconda, you can either Cherries or Dragoon. Usually you're doing Cherries for the Dragoon instead, but it helps you make the Dragoon and lets you get access to Super Poly if you didn't draw it. And then I'm playing the 1 Nts for decks that make me mill the cards so I can potentially pop something and get value out of it. And that is the 15 cards. There's definitely better Super Poly targets out there and or Cherries targets, but I don't have access to them right now, and I just kind of threw what I could to play this deck as soon as I could, and it honestly did well. So I'd love to hear any questions, comments, concerns, any strategies that you guys have, any tips down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.